For 29 years, Marcus Jordan carried a secret that would shock the world. The son of basketball's greatest legend had been hiding something so painful, so dangerous, that it nearly destroyed him before he turned 20. On March 15, 2024, Marcus walked into an ESPN studio for what was supposed to be a simple interview about his sneaker business. Instead, he revealed a childhood truth that left viewers speechless, and his father in tears. What Marcus shared that night changed everything. Not just about how the world saw him, but how families everywhere talk about pressure, mental health, and the hidden costs of living up to impossible expectations. This is the story of a scared 8-year-old boy who made a desperate decision, a teenager who lived a double life for nearly a decade, and a young man who finally found the courage to tell the truth that set him free. It's also the story of Michael Jordan facing his greatest challenge, not on a basketball court, but as a father learning that love sometimes means letting go of your dreams for your children. Some secrets are too big to keep forever, and sometimes telling the truth is the only way to save your life. The ESPN studio felt cold. Marcus Jordan pulled his black hoodie tighter as he sat in the leather chair. The bright lights made everything look fake, like a movie set. "Are you ready?" asked Rachel Martinez. She was ESPN's best sports reporter. Her dark hair was perfect. Her smile was kind but serious. Marcus nodded. His hands felt sweaty. He wiped them on his jeans. "We're going live in 10 seconds, said the cameraman. Marcus took a deep breath. He thought about his dad. Michael Jordan was probably watching TV right now at home in Florida. He had no idea what was about to happen. The red light came on. They were live. "Good evening, I'm Rachel Martinez. Tonight we have a special guest. Marcus Jordan is here to talk about his business. Trophy Room is one of the most popular sneaker stores in the country." Marcus smiled for the camera. This part was easy. He loved talking about his store. "Thanks for having me, Rachel. Let's start simple. How did Trophy Room begin?" Marcus relaxed a little. "I wanted to share my dad's story in a new way. The store has rare Air Jordan shoes. Each pair tells a story about basketball history. Your father is Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever. What's it like growing up with that name?" This question always came up. Marcus had answered it 100 times. But today felt different. "It's been a journey," Marcus said slowly. Rachel leaned forward. Something in his voice made her curious. "Tell us about that journey. You played basketball in high school and college. Then you stopped. Why did you walk away from the sport that made your family famous?" Marcus felt his heart beating faster. His mouth went dry. He looked at the camera. Millions of people were watching. For 20 years he had kept his secret. For 20 years he had lied to protect everyone, especially his dad. But he was tired of lying, tired of pretending. "Rachel, there's something I need to tell you. Something I've never said in public before." Rachel's eyes got wide. She could tell this was big. "Something that explains everything about why I really quit basketball." The studio got very quiet. Even the camera crew stopped moving. Marcus looked straight into the camera. He thought about his dad again. Michael Jordan was the bravest man he knew. Maybe it was time to be brave too. "I was 8 years old when it started. Everyone thought I was living the perfect life, the son of Michael Jordan. But I was hiding something terrible." His voice started to shake. Rachel didn't say anything. She just listened. "Every day after school, I was scared to go home, scared to practice basketball with my dad. Not because he was mean. He wasn't. He was the best dad he knew how to be. But I was hiding something that would have broken his heart." Marcus stopped talking. He closed his eyes for a second. When he opened them, there were tears. "What were you hiding, Marcus?" Rachel asked softly. Marcus wiped his eyes. The whole world was watching him cry on TV. But he didn't care anymore. "I was afraid of basketball, Rachel. The sport that made my dad famous. The sport everyone expected me to love. I was terrified of it." He took another deep breath. "But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is what I did to hide my fear. What I did to try to be the son everyone wanted me to be." Rachel waited. She knew this was the most important moment of the interview. Marcus looked at the camera again. He thought about all the kids watching who might be scared like he was. All the kids hiding secrets from their parents. "I started taking pills when I was 8 years old. My mom's anxiety medicine. I took them without asking. I took them so I could get through basketball practice without having a panic attack." The words hung in the air. Rachel's mouth dropped open. "For years, I stole medicine just so I could play basketball with my father. Just so I could pretend to be brave like him." Marcus was crying now. But he kept talking. "My dad doesn't know I'm telling this story tonight. He doesn't know about the pills. He doesn't know about the panic attacks. He doesn't know his son spent his whole childhood living a lie." Rachel was crying too. She had interviewed thousands of athletes, but she had never heard anything like this. "Why are you telling us now, Marcus?" "After all these years?" Marcus smiled through his tears. It was a sad smile, but it was real. "Because I'm tired of pretending. And because there might be other kids out there who are scared like I was. Kids who think they have to be perfect to make their parents proud." He looked straight into the camera one more time. "Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I never told you. I'm sorry I hid from you for so long. But I was 8 years old, and I was scared you wouldn't love me if you knew the truth." The studio was completely silent. Rachel had interviewed presidents and movie stars, but she had never felt anything like this moment. Marcus took off his microphone. He was done talking. He had said everything he needed to say. "We'll be right back," Rachel said to the camera. But she couldn't stop looking at Marcus. As they went to commercial, Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in 20 years. He felt free. But in Florida, Michael Jordan was watching TV with his mouth open. His phone was already ringing. The whole world wanted to know what the greatest basketball player ever thought about his son's secret. The interview that was supposed to be about sneakers had just changed everything. 29 years earlier, Highland Park, Illinois, September. 8-year-old Marcus Jordan pressed his face against the car window. His mom, Juanita, driving him home from Highland Park Elementary School. The trees were turning orange and yellow. Fall was Marcus's favorite time of year, but today felt different. Today felt scary. "Did you have a good day at school, baby?" Juanita asked. She looked at him in the rearview mirror. "It was okay," Marcus said quietly. That was a lie. It had been a terrible day. Just like every day since his dad came back play basketball. 2 months ago, Michael Jordan returned to the Chicago Bulls. The whole world was excited. ESPN showed it on TV every day. Newspapers wrote big stories about it. Everyone in Chicago was happy. Everyone except Marcus. At school, kids treated him differently now. Some kids followed him around like he was famous too. They asked for autographs. They wanted to touch his backpack. They asked if his dad could come to their birthday parties. Other kids were mean. They said Marcus thought he was better than everyone. They said he only got good grades because teachers were scared of his dad. They whispered about him during lunch. "Marcus thinks he's so cool," Jessica Miller had said that morning. Just because his dad plays basketball, Marcus didn't feel cool. He felt alone. Their car turned onto their street in Highland Park. Big houses sat behind tall trees. Rich people lived here. Famous people like his dad. Marcus saw their house at the end of the street. It was huge and white. It had a long driveway and a basketball court in the back. When people drove by, they slowed down to look. Sometimes they took pictures. "Dad's home early today," Juanita said. She sounded happy. "He wants to practice with you before dinner." Marcus's stomach felt sick. He loved his dad more than anything. But practicing basketball made him feel scared and confused. They pulled into the driveway. Michael Jordan was already outside. He was wearing shorts and a Bulls t-shirt. Even without his uniform, he looked like a superhero. "There's my boy," Michael called out. He smiled big and waved. Marcus got out of the car slowly. He forced a smile on his face. "Hey, Dad, you ready to work on that jump shot?" Michael asked. He messed up Marcus's hair. "I got us some new basketballs, real leather ones. Can I get a snack first?" Marcus asked. "After we practice." "Come on, son. The court is waiting." They walked to the backyard together. The basketball court was perfect. The lines were painted bright white. The hoop was exactly the right height. Michael had paid a lot of money to make it just like the courts he played on. Michael grabbed a basketball and started dribbling. The sound echoed off the house. "Bounce, bounce, bounce. Show me what you learned at school today," Michael said. He passed the ball to Marcus. Marcus caught it. The ball felt heavy in his small hands. His heart started beating faster. "I didn't have PE today," Marcus said. "That's okay. We can work on the basics." "Remember what I taught you about shooting?" Marcus nodded. His dad had taught him to bend his knees. Keep his elbows straight, follow through with his wrist. "Square up to the basket," Michael said. "Take your time." Marcus dribbled the ball 3 times. He looked at the basket. It seemed so high, so far away. He shot the ball. It hit the rim and bounced away. "Good try," Michael said, "but you rushed it." "Basketball is about patience, son. You can't be in a hurry." They practiced for 30 minutes. Marcus made some shots and missed others. The whole time his hands felt shaky. His breathing was too fast. He kept looking at the house, wishing he could go inside. Michael didn't notice. He was focused on Marcus's form, on his footwork, on making him better. "You're getting stronger," Michael said as they finished. "Next week we'll work on dribbling with your left hand." "Okay, Dad." They walked back toward the house. Michael put his arm around Marcus's shoulders. "I'm proud of you, son. You're working hard. Pretty soon, you'll be dunking like your old man." Marcus tried to smile, but inside, he felt like crying. That night at dinner, Marcus sat quietly while his parents talked. They were discussing Michael's games in travel Segil. The Bulls were playing the Orlando Magic next week. "Marcus, are you feeling okay?" Juanita asked. "You're not eating much." "I'm just tired," Marcus said. After dinner, Marcus went to his room. He closed the door and sat on his bed. His room was full of basketball stuff. Posters of his dad, signed basketballs. A mini hoop on his door. But Marcus didn't want to play basketball. He wanted to draw. He had art supplies hidden in his closet. Crayons and colored pencils and drawing paper. He pulled out a piece of paper and started drawing. He drew a little boy standing under a giant basketball hoop. The boy looked scared and small. That's how Marcus felt every day. Small and scared. The next day at school was worse. Marcus's teacher, Mrs. Patricia Chen, was reading the newspaper during lunch. On the front page was a picture of Michael Jordan dunking. "Marcus," she said, "your dad is amazing. You must be so proud." "Yes, ma'am," Marcus said. But he wasn't proud. He was worried. What if everyone found out he was scared of basketball? What if his dad found out his son was a coward? At recess, the other kids played basketball on the school court. They always asked Marcus to play. They expected him to be the best player. "Come on, Marcus," called Tommy Rodriguez. "Let's see those Jordan moves." Marcus's chest felt tight. His hands started to sweat. "I can't today," he said. "I hurt my ankle." Another lie. Marcus walked away from the basketball court. He found a quiet spot by the school library and sat under a tree. He pulled out a notebook and started drawing again. He drew his dad flying through the air with a basketball. Then he drew himself on the ground, looking up. Mrs. Chen found him there 20 minutes later. "Marcus, what are you doing? Don't you want to play with your friends?" "I like drawing," Marcus said quietly. Mrs. Chen looked at his notebook. His drawings were really good for an 8-year-old. "You're very talented," she said. "But maybe you should try playing basketball too. The other kids would love to learn from you." Marcus closed his notebook. He didn't know how to explain that basketball made him feel scared. He didn't have the words for it. That afternoon, Marcus walked home from school slowly. He took the long way past the park and around the block. He didn't want to get home too early. His dad might want to practice again. But when he finally got home, Michael was waiting in the driveway with a basketball. "There you are," Michael said. "I thought you got lost." "Sorry, Dad. I was talking to my teacher." "That's good. Education is important, but so is basketball. Come on, let's work on your free throws." Marcus followed his dad to the backyard court. His stomach hurt again. His breathing got fast and shallow. As they started practicing, Marcus wondered if other kids felt this way. Did other kids get scared when they played sports? Did other kids lie to their parents? He shot the ball and missed. Michael showed him how to fix his form. "You're tensing up," Michael said. "Relax your shoulders." Basketball should be fun, not stressful. But Marcus couldn't relax. Every shot felt like a test. Every miss felt like a failure. As the sun started to set, they finished practicing. Marcus had made 7 free throws out of 20. Not good enough for the son of Michael Jordan. We'll work on it tomorrow, Michael said. Practice makes perfect. That night, Marcus lay in bed thinking about tomorrow. Another day of school. Another day of kids, expecting him to be like his dad. Another day of basketball practice that made him feel sick and scared. He pulled the covers over his head and whispered to himself, I wish I was brave like Dad. I wish I wasn't scared of basketball. But deep down, Marcus knew something was wrong with him. Something that made him different from other kids. Something that made him different from his hero father. He just didn't know what it was yet. Outside his window, the basketball court sat empty under the stars, waiting for tomorrow's practice. Waiting for another day of Marcus pretending to be someone he wasn't. Highland Park, Illinois, March. 9-year-old Marcus Jordan sat in the front row at the United Center. The crowd was so loud he could feel it in his chest. 20,000 people were screaming for his dad. Defense! Defense! They chanted. The Chicago Bulls were playing the Miami Heat. It was a big game. The Bulls were trying to win another championship. Marcus watched his dad run down the court. Michael Jordan looked like he was flying. He jumped higher than everyone else. He moved faster than everyone else. He was perfect. The man next to Marcus pointed at him. Hey, that's Jordan's kid, he told his friend. More people started looking at Marcus. Some of them smiled and waved. Others took pictures with their cameras. Marcus tried to smile back, but inside his stomach felt sick. All these people expected him to be just like his dad. They expected him to love basketball as much as they did. But Marcus had a secret. Basketball scared him more every day. On the court, Michael scored another basket. The crowd went crazy. Marcus clapped and cheered. He was proud of his dad, but he was also worried. What if everyone found out that Michael Jordan's son was afraid of basketball? What would they think? What would his dad think? After the game, Marcus and his mom waited for Michael in the tunnel. Players and reporters walked by. Some of them stopped to talk to Marcus. You gonna be as good as your dad? Asked one reporter. I hope so, Marcus said quietly. Another lie. When Michael finally came out, he was sweating and smiling. The Bulls had won by 15 points. Did you see that dunk in the third quarter? Michael asked Marcus as they walked to the car. It was awesome, Dad. Tomorrow we'll practice that move in our backyard. You're getting tall enough to try it. Marcus's hands started to feel sweaty. Just thinking about basketball practice made his heart beat faster. At home that night, Marcus lay in bed writing in his diary. His mom had given it to him for Christmas. She said writing down his thoughts might help him feel better. March 15th, Dad scored 38 points tonight. Everyone says I should be just like him. The man behind us kept saying that kid better be good at basketball. But what if I'm not? What if I can't be brave like Dad? Sometimes when I think about playing basketball, I can't breathe right. My hands get shaky, my stomach hurts. Is that normal? I don't think other kids feel this way. I wish I could tell Mom and Dad. But what if they think I'm weird? What if Dad is disappointed in me? Maybe if I practice more, I'll get braver. Maybe if I try harder, the scared feelings will go away. Marcus closed his diary and hid it under his mattress. Outside his window, he could see the basketball court in the backyard. Even in the dark, it looked scary to him. The next morning at school, Marcus's teacher, Mr. David Williams, was setting up art supplies. Marcus loved art class more than anything else. Today we're going to paint our dreams, Mr. Williams said. Think about what makes you happiest. What do you want to do when you grow up? Marcus picked up his paintbrush. While other kids painted themselves playing sports or being doctors, Marcus painted something different. He painted a small boy standing in front of a big canvas. The boy was holding a paintbrush. Around him were beautiful paintings of trees and animals and rainbows. That's very good, Marcus, Mr. Williams said. Do you like to draw and paint? Yes, sir. It makes me feel calm. Have you shown your artwork to your parents? Marcus shook his head. They're too busy with basketball stuff. Mr. Williams looked sad for a moment. Art is important too, Marcus. Maybe you could show them sometime. But Marcus knew he couldn't. His dad expected him to love basketball. Art was for kids who couldn't play sports. At lunch, Marcus sat by himself again. He had brought a peanut butter sandwich and an apple. While he ate, he watched the other kids play basketball on the school court. Hey Marcus, called his classmate David Kim. Come play with us. Marcus's chest got tight. I can't. I'm still eating. Come on, we need you on our team. Marcus felt trapped. If he said no again, the kids would think he was weird. But if he played, he might have one of his scary episodes. He walked slowly to the basketball court. 10 kids were playing. They all stopped and looked at him. Jordan's kid is gonna play, someone shouted. Marcus picked up the basketball. It felt heavy and cold in his hands. All the kids were staring at him, waiting for him to do something amazing. He dribbled the ball once, twice. His heart was beating so fast he could hear it in his ears. Shoot it, David Kim yelled. Marcus looked at the basket. It seemed a million miles away. The kids were all watching him, expecting him to be perfect like his dad. Suddenly, Marcus couldn't breathe right. His hands started shaking. The world felt dizzy. He dropped the basketball and ran toward the school building. Where are you going? Someone called after him. Marcus didn't answer. He ran to the bathroom and locked himself in a stall. He sat on the floor and tried to catch his breath. What was wrong with him? Why did basketball make him feel so scared and sick? He stayed in the bathroom until lunch was over. When he came out, some kids asked if he was okay. I felt sick, Marcus said. Something I ate. Another lie. That afternoon, Marcus walked home very slowly. He took the long way again, past the library and around the park. He didn't want to get home until dinner time. Maybe his dad would be too tired to practice basketball. But when Marcus opened the front door, he heard the sound of a basketball bouncing in the backyard. Marcus, his dad called. Come on out here. I want to show you something. Marcus's stomach dropped. He walked slowly to the backyard. Michael was dribbling 2 basketballs at the same time. He was smiling big. Check this out, Michael said. He started dribbling in a pattern, crossing the balls back and forth. It's called the double crossover. Think you can try it? Marcus stared at the basketballs. They looked like monsters to him. I don't know, Dad. It looks hard. Everything looks hard until you practice. Come on, son. Your old man didn't become great by giving up. Michael handed Marcus one basketball. Marcus took it, but his hands were already shaking. Just dribble normally first, Michael said. Get comfortable with the ball. Marcus started dribbling, bounce, bounce, bounce. But his rhythm was off. The ball kept getting away from him. Relax your shoulders, Michael said. You're too tense. But Marcus couldn't relax. His breathing was getting faster. His vision was getting blurry. Dad, I don't feel good, Marcus said. You're just nervous. That's normal. When I was your age, I got nervous too. Marcus kept trying to dribble. But the scared feeling was getting worse. His chest felt tight. His hands were sweating so much he could barely hold the ball. I think I'm sick, Marcus said. Can we practice tomorrow? Michael looked at his son. Marcus was pale and shaky. You do look a little sick, Michael said. Go inside and rest. We'll practice when you feel better. Marcus ran into the house. He went straight to his room and closed the door. He sat on his bed and tried to calm down. That night at dinner, Michael told Juanita about basketball practice. Marcus seems nervous when we practice, Michael said. Maybe he needs more confidence. He's only 9, Juanita said. Don't push him too hard. I'm not pushing him, I'm encouraging him. There's a difference. Marcus ate his dinner quietly. He wanted to tell his parents about the scared feelings, about how basketball made him feel sick and shaky. But he didn't know how to explain it. After dinner, Marcus went back to his room and wrote in his diary. March 6th, I had another bad day with basketball. The scared feeling is getting worse. At school today, I couldn't even play with the other kids. I ran away like a baby. Dad wants to teach me harder moves now, but I can barely dribble without feeling sick. What's wrong with me? Why can't I be brave like him? I wish I could tell someone about the scared feelings. But what if they think I'm crazy? What if Dad thinks I'm weak? I love my dad so much. I don't want to disappoint him. But basketball makes me feel like I'm going to die. Marcus closed his diary and hid it again. He looked out his window at the basketball court. Even in the moonlight, it looked scary. Tomorrow, there would be more practice. More expectations. More lying about why he couldn't play basketball like everyone wanted him to. Marcus pulled his covers over his head and made a decision that would change everything. Tomorrow, he would find a way to be braver. Even if it meant doing something dangerous. even if it meant taking something that didn't belong to him. Outside, the basketball court waited in the darkness, ready for another day of secrets. Ready for another day of Marcus pretending to be someone he wasn't. But tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow, Marcus would find a way to hide his fear, no matter what it cost him. Highland Park, Illinois. July 9. 11-year-old Marcus Jordan stared at the orange pill bottle on his mother's bathroom counter. The label said Xanax. For anxiety, Juanita Jordan. His hands were shaking as he read the words. Anxiety. That was what he had. That scared, sick feeling when he played basketball. Marcus had looked up the word in the dictionary at school. Anxiety meant a feeling of worry or fear. That was exactly how he felt every time someone mentioned basketball. The house was quiet. His dad was at a meeting with his agent. His mom was downstairs talking on the phone with her sister. Marcus had snuck into his parents' bathroom after lunch. He unscrewed the cap and looked inside. 20 small white pills. His mom took one every night before bed. She said it helped her sleep when his dad was traveling. Marcus shook one pill into his hand. It was tiny, smaller than a piece of candy. Maybe if he took one, the scared feelings would go away. Maybe he could play basketball without feeling sick. Maybe he could finally be the son his dad wanted. Marcus put the pill in his pocket and screwed the cap back on. His heart was beating fast. But not from fear this time. From hope. Tomorrow, he was starting basketball camp at Lake Forest Academy. The camp was for the best young players in Chicago. Michael Jordan had signed him up months ago. "This will be good for you," his dad had said. "You'll play with other talented kids. It'll build your confidence." But Marcus wasn't confident. He was terrified. The next morning, Juanita drove Marcus to the basketball camp. Lake Forest Academy was a fancy private school with perfect basketball courts and expensive equipment. "Have fun, baby," Juanita said as she dropped him off. "Dad and I are so proud of you." Marcus waved goodbye and walked toward the gym. His backpack felt heavy. Inside was his basketball gear, a water bottle, and the white pill he had stolen. The gym was full of kids his age. They were all dribbling basketballs and shooting around. They looked confident and happy. Marcus felt like throwing up. "Welcome to Lake Forest Basketball Camp," called out a man with a whistle. "I'm Coach Tony Rodriguez. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to work on your fundamental skills." Coach Rodriguez was tall and muscular. He had played college basketball at DePaul University. On his office wall were pictures of him with famous players. "Let's start with some basic drills," Coach Rodriguez said. "Everyone grab a ball and form 3 lines." Marcus got in line behind a boy named Kevin Walsh. Kevin was shorter than Marcus, but he handled the basketball like a pro. "You're Marcus Jordan, right?" Kevin whispered. "My dad says you're gonna be better than your father." Marcus tried to smile. "I hope so." When it was Marcus's turn to dribble through the cones, his hands started sweating. The other kids were watching. Some parents were sitting in the bleachers, including Kevin's dad. Marcus started dribbling. The ball felt slippery in his wet hands. His breathing got faster. The gym felt too hot and too loud. Halfway through the drill, Marcus lost control of the ball. It bounced away from him and rolled toward the wall. The other kids laughed. "Shake it off," Coach Rodriguez called. "Try again." But Marcus couldn't try again. His chest felt tight. His vision was getting fuzzy. He was having one of his episodes. "I need some water," Marcus said. He ran to the side of the gym where his backpack was sitting. He sat down on the bleachers and pretended to drink from his water bottle. But really, he was thinking about the pill in his backpack. During the water break, Marcus went to the bathroom. He locked the door and took out the white pill. His hands were still shaking. He had watched his mom take these pills. She would swallow one with water, and then feel calmer. Maybe it would work for him too. Marcus put the pill in his mouth and swallowed it with water from the fountain. It tasted bitter and chalky. He waited for something to happen. The scared feeling was still there. But maybe it was a little less strong. When he went back to the gym, Coach Rodriguez was setting up a scrimmage game. "Red team versus blue team," the coach announced. "First team to 20 points wins." Marcus was on the red team with Kevin Walsh and 3 other boys. The blue team had some of the best players in the camp. As the game started, Marcus felt different. Not completely calm, but not as panicked as before. The pill was working. He played better than usual. He made 2 baskets and played good defense. The other kids started passing him the ball more often. "Nice shot, Marcus," Coach Rodriguez called out. For the first time in years, Marcus felt proud playing basketball. The scared feeling was still there, but it was quieter, like someone had turned down the volume on his fear. After practice, Kevin Walsh came up to Marcus in the locker room. "You played great today," Kevin said. "I can see the Jordan genes kicking in." Marcus smiled. "Thanks. I felt good out there." That night at dinner, Marcus told his parents about basketball camp. "Coach Rodriguez says I have natural talent." Marcus said, "He wants me to work on my left-handed dribbling." Michael beamed with pride. "That's my boy. I told you that camp would help your confidence." Juanita squeezed Marcus's hand. "We're so proud of you, sweetie." Marcus felt guilty for lying. He hadn't played well because of natural talent or confidence. He had played well because of a stolen pill, but seeing his parents so happy made the guilt worth it. For the first time, he felt like the son they wanted him to be. The next morning, Marcus took another pill before camp, and the day after that, and the day after that. Each day, the pills made basketball a little easier. He could focus better. His hands didn't shake as much. The scared feeling stayed in the background. By the end of the first week, Marcus was one of the better players at camp. Coach Rodriguez moved him to a more advanced group. "Your improvement has been remarkable," the coach told Marcus. "Whatever you're doing differently, keep it up." Marcus nodded. He was doing something different. He was stealing pills from his mother's medicine bottle. Every morning, he would sneak into his parents' bathroom and take 1 pill. Then he would put it in his pocket and take it before basketball practice. His mom hadn't noticed yet. The bottle still looked mostly full. But Marcus was worried about what would happen when the pills ran out. On Friday night, the camp had a game for parents to watch. Marcus was nervous all day, even with the pill. Playing in front of his dad was always scary. Michael and Juanita arrived early and sat in the front row. Marcus could see his dad watching every move he made. The game was close. With 2 minutes left, Marcus's team was losing by 3 points. Coach Rodriguez called a timeout. "We need a big play," the coach said. "Marcus, I want you to take the next shot." Marcus felt his heart speed up. Even with the pill, the pressure was intense. Everyone in the gym was looking at him. His dad was leaning forward in his seat. Marcus dribbled down the court. The defender was guarding him closely. Marcus took a deep breath and shot the ball. Swish. The ball went through the net perfectly. The crowd cheered. Michael Jordan jumped out of his seat and clapped. Marcus had never seen his dad look so proud. After the game, Michael hugged Marcus tight. "That was incredible," Michael said. "You looked so confident out there. Like a different player." Marcus was a different player, but not for the reasons his dad thought. That weekend, Marcus realized he had a problem. He had been taking pills for a week, and he was running out. There were only 5 pills left in his mother's bottle. On Sunday night, Marcus lay in bed worrying. What would happen when the pills were gone? Would he go back to being scared and shaky? Would he disappoint his dad again? He made a decision that scared him. He would have to take more pills from his mom's bottle, even if it meant stealing more often. Monday morning, Marcus took 2 pills instead of 1. He wanted to make sure he felt calm for the Chem's final week. But taking 2 pills made him feel strange, dizzy and sleepy. During morning drills, he almost fell over. "You okay, Marcus?" Coach Rodriguez asked. "You look tired." "I didn't sleep well," Marcus said. That afternoon, Marcus's mom noticed something. "Marcus, have you been feeling sick lately?" Juanita asked. "You seem different." Quieter. Marcus's stomach dropped. Did she know about the pills? "I'm just tired from basketball camp," he said. "Maybe you should take a break tomorrow. Rest up before the final games." "No," Marcus said too quickly. I want to finish the camp. Coach Rodriguez is counting on me." Juanita looked worried, but she didn't push it. That night, Marcus wrote in his diary, July 20th, "The pills are working. I can play basketball without feeling scared. Dad is so proud of me. Mom says I'm different, but she doesn't know why. I only have 3 pills left. I don't know what I'm gonna do when they're gone. Maybe I can find more somewhere else. Maybe other kids' parents have them too. Is this wrong? I know stealing is bad, but the pills help me be the son Dad wants. They help me be normal. I just want to make my family proud. I just want to stop being scared all the time. Maybe if I keep taking the pills, the scared feelings will go away forever. Maybe I'll become brave like Dad. Marcus closed his diary and hid it under his mattress. Outside his window, the basketball court sat quiet in the moonlight. 3 more pills. 3 more days of feeling normal. After that, Marcus would have to figure out a new plan. He would have to find more pills, or find another way to hide his fear. Because going back to being scared was not an option. Not when his dad was finally proud of him. Not when he was finally becoming the son everyone wanted him to be. Even if it meant living a lie. Even if it meant stealing. Even if it meant putting himself in danger he was too young to understand. Loyola Academy, Wilmette, Illinois, September. 15-year-old Marcus Jordan walked through the halls of Loyola Academy, with his head down. He was tall now, almost 6 feet. He looked more like his father every day. But inside, he still felt like that scared 8-year-old boy. High school was supposed to be a fresh start. A chance to be normal. But everyone at Loyola knew who he was. The teachers whispered about him. The other students stared at him in the hallways. "That's Michael Jordan's son," he heard someone say behind him. Marcus kept walking. He was used to the whispers by now. His first class was English with Mrs. Sarah Martinez. She seemed nice, but Marcus could tell she was nervous around him too. "Welcome to Loyola Academy, Marcus," she said after class. "I hope you'll feel comfortable here. If you need anything, please let me know." "Thank you, ma'am." Marcus's next class was the one he was dreading most. Physical education with Coach Jim Patterson. Coach Patterson had played basketball in college. He was excited to have Marcus in his class. Too excited. "Gentlemen," Coach Patterson announced to the class, "we have a special student with us this year. Marcus Jordan will be joining our basketball program." All the boys turned to look at Marcus. Some of them smiled. Others looked jealous. Marcus felt his chest getting tight. "I expect great things from you, son," Coach Patterson said. "Your father is a legend. I'm sure you'll carry on that tradition." Marcus nodded, but his hands were already starting to sweat. After school, Marcus went home to their house in Highland Park. It felt different now that he was older. Bigger but also lonelier. His parents were getting divorced. The papers had been signed last year. His dad had moved out and bought a house in Chicago. Marcus lived with his mom during the week and visited his dad on weekends. The divorce made everything harder. Marcus felt guilty, like maybe he was part of the reason his parents weren't happy together. In his bedroom, Marcus opened his closet and moved some clothes aside. Hidden behind his old basketball shoes was a small plastic bag. Inside the bag were 12 white pills. Over the years, Marcus had gotten better at stealing pills. He took them from his mom's bottle. He took them from his dad's medicine cabinet. He even took some from his friend's house when he went to sleepovers. No one ever noticed. Adults always had pills for different things. Headaches, sleep problems, anxiety. Marcus had learned which ones helped him feel calm. He took one pill now and swallowed it with water from the bottle in his room. In 20 minutes, he would feel better. Calmer, ready to face basketball practice. The next day at practice, Coach Patterson split the team into groups. Marcus was put with the varsity players, even though he was only a sophomore. "Let's see what you've got, Jordan," said Mike Wilson, the team captain. He was a senior and had been playing varsity for 3 years. They started with a scrimmage game. Marcus played well. The pill made him feel confident and focused. He made several good shots and played solid defense. "Impressive," Coach Patterson said after practice. "You'll be starting varsity this season." Marcus should have felt excited. But all he felt was more pressure. Starting varsity meant more games. More people watching. More chances to fail in front of everyone. That night, Marcus took 2 pills instead of 1. The basketball season started in November. Loyola Academy's first game was against New Trier High School, their biggest rival. The gym was packed with over 2,000 people. Marcus sat on the bench before the game, trying to stay calm. He had taken 3 pills that afternoon, more than ever before. But he still felt nervous. "Jordan," Coach Patterson called, "you're starting at shooting guard." Marcus stood up. His legs felt weak and shaky. Not from fear this time, but from the pills. Taking too many made him feel dizzy and strange. The game started badly for Marcus. He missed his first 4 shots. The crowd was getting restless. He could hear people talking about him. "What's wrong with Jordan's kid?" someone said loudly. "He looks terrible out there." By halftime, Marcus had only scored 2 points. Coach Patterson was frustrated. "What's going on out there, son?" the coach asked. "You look lost." Marcus couldn't explain that he had taken too many pills, that his head felt foggy and his coordination was off. "I'm just nervous," Marcus said. "Well, get unnervous. We need you to play like a Jordan." The second half was worse. Marcus couldn't focus on the game. Everything felt slow and confusing. When a pass came his way, he was too late to catch it. When he tried to dribble, the ball slipped out of his hands. With 5 minutes left in the game, Marcus made a terrible mistake. He was bringing the ball up the court when he suddenly felt dizzy. His vision went blurry. His legs gave out. Marcus collapsed on the basketball court in front of 2,000 people. The gym went silent. Then everyone started talking at once. Players gathered around Marcus. The referee stopped the game. Someone called for the school nurse. Marcus lay on the court, embarrassed and confused. He could hear his teammates asking if he was okay. He could see faces looking down at him with worry and confusion. "Get him some water," Coach Patterson said. "Maybe he's dehydrated." But Marcus knew it wasn't dehydration. It was the pills. He had taken too many, and now everyone could see that something was wrong with him. The school nurse, Mrs. Angela Roberts, knelt down next to Marcus. "Can you sit up, honey?" she asked. Marcus nodded and slowly sat up. The gym was still spinning a little, but he felt better than before. "I think I just got dizzy," Marcus said. "I'm okay now." Mrs. Roberts checked his pulse and looked into his eyes. "Your pulse is a little fast," she said, "and your pupils look dilated. Have you taken any medication today?" Marcus's heart jumped. Did she know? "Just some Tylenol for a headache." He lied. Mrs. Roberts helped Marcus to his feet. The crowd clapped when they saw he was okay. But Marcus could hear people whispering about what had happened. "Poor kid," someone said. "All that pressure must be getting to him." They were right, but not in the way they thought. Coach Patterson took Marcus out of the game. Loyola lost by 12 points. In the locker room afterward, Marcus's teammates were quiet and worried. "You sure you're okay?" Mike Wilson asked. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just had a bad day." But Marcus wasn't fine. He was scared and confused. The pills that were supposed to help him were making things worse. When he got home that night, his mom was waiting for him. "The school called," Juanita said. "They said you collapsed during the game. Are you feeling sick?" "I'm okay, Mom. I just got overheated." Juanita felt his forehead. "You don't have a fever. Maybe you should see a doctor." "I don't need a doctor. I just need to rest." That night, Marcus wrote in his diary, November 5th, "I messed up big time today. I took too many pills and collapsed during the game. Everyone saw it happen. I was so embarrassed. The pills aren't helping anymore. Sometimes they make me feel worse, but I can't stop taking them. Without them, I can't play basketball at all. What if someone finds out? What if they discover my secret? Dad would be so disappointed. He might never forgive me. I need to be more careful. Maybe I should take fewer pills. Or maybe I should find different ones. I just want to be normal. I just want to play basketball without feeling scared or sick. But I don't know how to stop." Marcus closed his diary and hid it in its usual spot. He looked at the plastic bag of pills in his closet. There were only 8 left. Soon he would need to find more. He was getting better at stealing them, but it was also getting more dangerous. His mom had started locking her medicine cabinet. His dad kept his pills in a safe now. Marcus was running out of options and running out of time. The next morning at school, Marcus heard students talking about his collapse. "Did you see Jordan's kid fall down?" one boy said. "My dad thinks it's the pressure. He says being Michael Jordan's son must be impossible." Marcus wished he could tell them the truth, that it wasn't just the pressure of being Michael Jordan's son. It was the pressure of hiding who he really was. In art class, Marcus found some peace. Mrs. Linda Chen, his new art teacher, didn't care about basketball. She only cared about creativity and self-expression. "Today, we're going to paint our emotions," Mrs. Chen said. "Choose colors that represent how you feel inside. Marcus picked up a brush and painted dark blues and grays, swirling clouds that looked angry and sad. In the middle, he painted a small figure drowning in the storm. "This is very powerful, Marcus," Mrs. Chen said. "Art can be a great way to process difficult feelings." Marcus nodded. He wished he could paint his real feelings. The fear, the guilt, the confusion about the pills. But those secrets were too dangerous to share, even in art. As junior year continued, Marcus's basketball performance got worse. Some games he played well when the pills worked right. Other games he played terribly when he took too many or too few. The local newspapers started writing about him. "Not good things. Marcus Jordan struggles to live up to family name," read one headline. "Is the pressure too much for Jordan's son?" read another. Marcus read every article. Each one made him feel worse about himself. He started taking pills not just for basketball, but for everyday life. One pill to get through school. Another pill to deal with reporters. Another pill to face his disappointed father. By the end of junior year, Marcus was taking pills almost every day. He had become an expert at stealing them from medicine cabinets and finding new sources. But the pills were changing him, making him tired and confused. His grades started slipping. His friendships suffered. His relationship with his father grew more strained. During one of their weekend visits, Michael confronted Marcus about his basketball performance. "Son, I'm worried about you," Michael said. "Your coach says you're inconsistent. Sometimes you play great, sometimes you look lost out there." Marcus wanted to tell his father everything. About the anxiety, about the pills, about the years of living a lie. But the words wouldn't come. "I'm trying my best, Dad. I know you are. But trying isn't always enough. Sometimes you have to dig deeper. Find that killer instinct." Marcus nodded, but inside he felt hopeless. His father wanted him to be a killer on the basketball court. But Marcus felt like the pills were slowly killing him instead. Senior year was approaching. College scouts would be watching. The pressure would be higher than ever. And Marcus's secret was getting harder and harder to hide. University of Central Florida, Orlando. August. 18-year-old Marcus Jordan stood outside his dorm room at the University of Central Florida. His hands were shaking as he put the key in the lock. Not from anxiety this time, but from excitement. For the first time in his life, Marcus was away from Chicago. Away from the whispers and stares. Away from everyone who knew his last name. Orlando felt like freedom. His new roommate was already there. A kid named Tyler Brooks from Tampa. Tyler was unpacking clothes when Marcus walked in. "Hey, you must be Marcus," Tyler said with a smile. "I'm Tyler. Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you too." Tyler didn't seem to recognize Marcus's name. For once, someone was treating him like a normal person. "You play any sports?" Tyler asked. "Basketball," Marcus said quietly. "Cool. I'm more of a soccer guy myself. Maybe we can catch some games together this season." Marcus nodded. This was already better than he had hoped. That night, Marcus unpacked his things carefully. His clothes, his books, and hidden deep in his backpack, a small bottle of pills. He had managed to steal 30 pills before leaving Chicago. Enough to last a few weeks. The next morning was basketball tryouts. Marcus had been recruited by Coach Kirk Spira to play for the UCF Knights. The coach knew who Marcus was, but he seemed more interested in his basketball skills than his famous father. "Welcome to UCF, Marcus," Coach Spira said. "I've seen your high school highlights. You have real potential." Marcus smiled. It felt good to be wanted for his own abilities. The tryouts went well. Marcus had taken one pill before practice, just enough to calm his nerves. He played with confidence and made the varsity team. His new teammates were friendly. There was AJ Ramsa, a senior guard who would later play professionally overseas. There was Isaac Sosa, a tough forward from Miami. And there was Jermaine Taylor, a freshman like Marcus. "So you're really Michael Jordan's son?" Jermaine asked, after practice. "Yeah," Marcus said, waiting for the usual reaction. "That's cool, man. My dad loves your father. But you're your own player. I can see that." Marcus felt relief wash over him. These guys weren't going to treat him differently. For the first few weeks at UCF, Marcus felt happier than he had in years. His classes were interesting. His teammates were becoming friends. And best of all, he was far away from the pressure of being Michael Jordan's son in Chicago. But the pills were still a problem. Marcus was down to 20 pills. He needed to find more, but he didn't know anyone in Orlando. He couldn't just walk into his teammates' rooms and steal from their medicine cabinets. During the third week of school, Marcus met Dr. Jennifer Walsh. She was the sports psychologist for the basketball team. All the players had to meet with her once a month. "How are you adjusting to college life?" Dr. Walsh asked during their first session. "It's been good," Marcus said. "I like the freedom. That's normal. Moving away from home can be both exciting and stressful." "Do you have any concerns about the upcoming season?" Marcus thought about telling her the truth. About the anxiety. About the pills. Dr. Walsh seemed kind and understanding, but he couldn't risk it. What if she told Coach Sparrow? What if word got back to his father? "Just a normal nervousness," Marcus said. "I want to do well." "That's understandable. If you ever need to talk about anything, my door is always open." Marcus nodded, but he knew he would never tell her his real secrets. As October arrived, Marcus's pill supply was running dangerously low. He had 8 pills left. He was trying to save them for games and important practices. But going without pills was getting harder. The anxiety was stronger now. Sometimes Marcus would wake up in the middle of the night with his heart racing, thinking about basketball. During a practice scrimmage, Marcus had his worst panic attack in months. He was guarding AJ Ramza, when suddenly he couldn't breathe. His vision got blurry. His hands started shaking. Marcus called a timeout and ran to the bench. "You okay?" Coach Sparrow asked. "Just need some water," Marcus said. He sat on the bench for 10 minutes, trying to calm down. His teammates kept looking at him with concern. "Maybe you should see the trainer," Isaac Sosa suggested. "I'm fine. Just got overheated." But Marcus wasn't fine. Without the pills, he was falling apart. That night, Marcus made a dangerous decision. He walked to the campus health center and told them he was trouble sleeping. "College can be stressful," said the nurse. "Have you tried any relaxation techniques?" "I've tried everything," Marcus lied. "My doctor back home gave me something for sleep, but I ran out." The nurse looked at Marcus's file on the computer. "I don't see any prescriptions listed." "What was the medication?" Marcus's heart raced. He didn't know what to say. "I think it was called Ambien," he said, naming a sleep medication he had heard about. "I can't prescribe that without consulting with a doctor. But I can give you some over-the-counter sleep aids." Marcus took the over-the-counter pills, but they didn't help with his anxiety. They just made him drowsy. A week later, Marcus was down to 3 real pills. He was saving them for the most important moments. The team's first exhibition game was against Florida State. Marcus took 1 pill before the game. It helped, but not as much as before. His body was getting used to the medication. Marcus played okay, but not great. He scored 8 points and had 4 turnovers. After the game, Coach Sparrow pulled him aside. "You seem tense out there," the coach said. "Are you feeling pressure because of your name?" "Maybe a little," Marcus admitted. "Don't worry about what people expect. Just play your game. You belong here." Marcus wished it was that simple. As the regular season approached, Marcus was completely out of pills. He tried to play without them, but the anxiety was overwhelming. During practice, he would miss easy shots because his hands were shaking. During scrimmages, he would lose focus and make mental mistakes. His teammates started to notice. "You've been off lately," AJ Ramza said after a particularly bad practice. "Everything all right at home?" "Yeah, everything's fine." But everything wasn't fine. Marcus was struggling in his classes because he couldn't concentrate. He was losing weight because anxiety made it hard to eat. He was barely sleeping. Meanwhile, his father was busy with his new venture. Michael Jordan had become a part owner of the Charlotte Bobcats. The team was struggling, and Michael was frustrated. During their weekly phone calls, Michael would complain about his players. "These guys don't have the killer instinct," Michael would say. "They're soft. They don't know what it means to compete." Marcus felt guilty, listening to his father's frustrations. Here was Michael Jordan, trying to build a winning basketball team, while his own son was falling apart because he was too scared to play basketball. "How's your season going?" Michael would ask. "It's going well, Dad. Coach Sparrow likes my progress." Another lie. Marcus was barely holding on. In November, UCF played their first real game against a major opponent. The University of Memphis came to Orlando for a nationally televised game. Marcus knew his father would be watching. Michael had business interests in Memphis and always paid attention when they played. Before the game, Marcus felt desperate. He had no pills left, no way to calm his nerves. But he couldn't let his father see him fail on national television. Marcus made a terrible decision. He took 4 over-the-counter sleep aids, hoping they would help with his anxiety. The sleep aids made him feel strange and groggy. During warm-ups, he nearly fell over while shooting. His teammates looked concerned. "You sure you're okay?" Jermaine Taylor asked. "I'm fine," Marcus said. But his words were slurred. The game was a disaster. Marcus couldn't focus on anything. He missed shots he normally made easily. He threw passes to the wrong players. After 12 minutes, Coach Spera benched him. "What's wrong with you tonight?" the coach asked during a timeout. Marcus couldn't answer. He felt sick and dizzy. The arena lights were too bright. Everything sounded far away. With 5 minutes left in the game, Marcus excused himself to go to the bathroom. But instead of coming back, he sat in a bathroom stall and cried. He had hit rock bottom. No pills, no way to cope with his anxiety. No way to be the player everyone expected him to be. When Marcus finally came back to the bench, the game was over. UCF had lost by 20 points. In the locker room, Coach Spera was angry. "That was embarrassing," he told the team. "We looked like we'd never played basketball before." Marcus knew the coach was talking about him. That night, Marcus called his father. "I saw the game," Michael said. His voice was disappointed. "What happened out there, son? You looked lost." Marcus wanted to tell him everything. About the anxiety, about the pills, about the years of lying and pretending. But the words wouldn't come. "I just had a bad game, Dad." It happens. Bad games happen. But that wasn't just a bad game. That was something else. "Are you taking this seriously?" "Of course I am. Because if you're not ready to compete at this level, maybe you should think about your priorities." Marcus felt like his father had punched him in the stomach. "I understand, Dad." After hanging up, Marcus sat in his dorm room staring at the empty pill bottle. His secret was destroying his life. But he didn't know how to stop. He didn't know how to be honest. And he didn't know how much longer he could keep pretending to be someone he wasn't. University of Central Florida, Orlando, February. 20-year-old Marcus Jordan sat in his dorm room staring at his cell phone. His father had called 3 times, but Marcus couldn't answer. He knew what Michael wanted to talk about. Basketball. Always basketball. It was Marcus's senior year at UCF. His last chance to prove he was worthy of the Jordan 9. But instead of getting better, everything was getting worse. The pills were completely gone now. Marcus had tried everything to get more. He had lied to doctors. He had searched through medicine cabinets at parties. He had even thought about buying illegal drugs from students on campus, but nothing worked. And without the pills, basketball was impossible. Marcus looked at his calendar. Tonight was the biggest game of the season. UCF was playing Memphis again. This time in Memphis, in front of Michael Jordan's business partners and friends. His father was flying in to watch the game. Marcus felt sick just thinking about it. There was a knock on his dorm room door. Marcus opened it to find Tyler, his roommate. "You ready for tonight?" Tyler asked. "My whole family is coming to watch. They're excited to see you play." Marcus tried to smile. "Yeah, should be a good game." Tyler looked at him carefully. "You sure you're okay? You've seemed really stressed lately." "Just normal game nerves." But these weren't normal nerves. Marcus hadn't slept in 2 days. He had barely eaten anything. His hands shook constantly now. Even when he wasn't thinking about basketball. At 3 p.m., the team bus left for FedEx Forum in Memphis. Marcus sat in the back, trying to stay calm. His teammates were excited and confident. They had been playing well all season. Everyone except Marcus. "Big crowd tonight," said AJ Ramsa. "I heard they sold out because of you." Marcus's stomach dropped. More pressure, more people watching, more chances to fail in front of his father. When they arrived at FedEx Forum, Marcus saw the huge arena and felt dizzy. 20,000 seats, national television cameras, ESPN reporters everywhere. In the locker room, Coach Spera gave his pre-game speech. "This is what we've worked for all season," the coach said. "A chance to beat a ranked team on national TV. Everyone in America is watching tonight." Marcus felt like he was going to throw up. During warm-ups, Marcus couldn't make any shots. His hands were shaking too much. The ball felt heavy and foreign in his hands. "Relax out there," called Isaac Sosa. "You're trying too hard." But Marcus couldn't relax. Not without his pills. Not with his father in the stands watching. With 10 minutes until game time, Marcus went to the bathroom. He splashed cold water on his face and looked in the mirror. "You can do this," he whispered to himself. "Just get through one game." But when Marcus walked back toward the court, he saw something that made his heart stop. Michael Jordan was standing in the tunnel, talking to reporters. "I'm excited to see how Marcus plays tonight," Michael was telling ESPN. "This is a big stage. A chance for him to show what he's made of." Marcus ducked back into the bathroom before his father could see him. His chest felt tight. His breathing was getting fast and shallow. He was having a panic attack. The worst one in years. Marcus sat in a bathroom stall trying to breathe normally. But the more he tried to calm down, the worse it got. His heart was racing. His hands were sweating. The bathroom walls felt like they were closing in on him. "I can't do this," Marcus said out loud. "I can't play basketball anymore." But he had to. His father was watching. His teammates were counting on him. 20,000 people had bought tickets to see Michael Jordan's son play basketball. Marcus stood up and walked back to the locker room. The game was about to start. "There you are," Coach Sparrow said. "You're starting at shooting guard. Let's go show them what UCF basketball is all about." Marcus nodded, but he felt like he was walking to his execution. The introductions began. When they called Marcus's name, the crowd got loud. Not cheering, exactly. More like curious murmuring. And starting at shooting guard, the announcer said, "From Highland Park, Illinois, Marcus Jordan." Marcus ran onto the court and waved at the crowd. He could see his father in the stands, clapping and smiling proudly. The game started badly for Marcus. His first shot was an air ball. His second shot hit the side of the backboard. The crowd started to murmur again. By the end of the first quarter, Marcus had missed all 6 of his shots. Coach Sparrow called a timeout. "What's going on out there?" The coach asked. "You look scared." Marcus was scared, terrified, but he couldn't say that. "I'm just having an off night," Marcus said. "Well, figure it out. We need you to play basketball, not whatever that was." The second quarter was worse. Marcus missed 2 more shots and turned the ball over 3 times. The Memphis crowd started to boo every time he touched the ball. In the stands, Michael Jordan looked confused and frustrated. This wasn't the son he had raised. This wasn't the player he had trained in their backyard. At halftime, UCF was losing by 15 points. In the locker room, Marcus's teammates were frustrated. "Come on, Marcus," AJ Ramza said. "We need you to step up." "I know," Marcus said quietly. But he didn't know how to step up. Not without his pills. Not with this crushing anxiety making it impossible to think clearly. The third quarter started, and Marcus tried to play better, but his mind was racing with terrible thoughts. What if he never got better at basketball? What if his father was ashamed of him? What if everyone found out he was a fraud? With 8 minutes left in the third quarter, Marcus was bringing the ball up court when it happened. The panic attack hit him like a truck. His vision went blurry. His heart felt like it was going to explode. His legs turned to jelly. Marcus stumbled and fell to the floor in the middle of the court. The basketball rolled away from him. The crowd gasped. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then chaos erupted. Referees ran over to check on Marcus. His teammates gathered around him. The Memphis crowd didn't know what to do. "Get the trainer!" Coach Sparrow shouted. Marcus lay on the court, unable to move. He could hear people talking, but their voices sounded far away. The arena lights were too bright. Everything felt like a dream. "Marcus, can you hear me?" asked the UCF trainer, Mike Johnson. Marcus nodded, but he couldn't speak. His throat felt closed up. "Let's get him to the locker room," the trainer said. 2 trainers helped Marcus off the court. The crowd was completely silent now. 20,000 people watching Michael Jordan's son being carried off a basketball court. In the tunnel, Marcus saw his father pushing through security guards. "That's my son," Michael was saying. "Let me through." Marcus felt a wave of shame and guilt. His father looked scared and confused. This wasn't supposed to happen. In the trainer's room, Marcus lay on a table while the trainer checked his vital signs. His heart rate is very high, the trainer told Coach Sparrow. And he's hyperventilating. Is he having a heart attack? The coach asked. I don't think so, but we need to get him to a hospital. 20 minutes later, Marcus was in an ambulance, heading to Orlando Health. His father rode with him, holding his hand. It's going to be okay, son, Michael said. Everything's going to be okay. But Marcus knew nothing was okay. His secret was about to come out. After 12 years of hiding and lying, the truth was finally going to be revealed. At the hospital, doctors ran tests on Marcus's heart. They checked his blood pressure and did an EKG. Everything came back normal. Physically, he's fine, Dr. Amanda Rodriguez told Michael. But I think your son had a severe panic attack. A panic attack? Michael looked confused. About what? That's something Marcus will need to discuss with a mental health professional. Dr. Rodriguez left Marcus and Michael alone in the hospital room. For the first time in years, they had nowhere to hide from each other. Son, Michael said quietly, what's going on? This isn't like you. Marcus looked at his father, the man who had never been afraid of anything. The man who had conquered every challenge life threw at him. How could Marcus tell him that his son was the opposite of everything he represented? Dad, Marcus said, his voice shaking. There's something I need to tell you. Something I should have told you years ago. Michael leaned forward. What is it? Marcus took a deep breath. For the first time in 12 years, he was about to tell someone the truth. I'm afraid of basketball, Dad. I've been afraid of it since I was 8 years old. Michael's face went blank. What do you mean? I have panic attacks when I play. My hands shake. I can't breathe. It's been happening for years. Michael was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked the question Marcus had been dreading. Why didn't you tell me? Marcus started crying. Because I didn't want to disappoint you. Because I thought you wouldn't love me if you knew I was scared. Oh, son, Michael said, his own eyes filling with tears. That's not true. I could never stop loving you. But Marcus wasn't done. There was more to the story. The worst part was still coming. Dad, there's something else. Something worse. Michael waited. I've been taking pills. Anxiety medicine. I've been stealing them and taking them for years just so I could play basketball. The room went completely silent. Michael stared at his son, trying to process what he had just heard. His son, his baby boy, had been stealing drugs and lying to him for over a decade. How long? Michael asked quietly. Since I was 8. Right after you came back to the Bulls. Michael put his head in his hands. His son had been suffering for 12 years, and he had never noticed. He had failed as a father in the worst possible way. Highland Park, Illinois. Marcus Jordan sat in his childhood bedroom, staring at the basketball court outside his window. 3 weeks had passed since the collapse in Memphis. 3 weeks since he told his father the truth. 3 weeks since his world fell apart. After the hospital, Marcus had made a decision that shocked everyone. He quit the UCF basketball team. Just walked away in the middle of his senior season. The sports media went crazy. ESPN ran stories about it for days. Sports talk radio hosts called him a quitter. Some said he was weak. Others said the pressure of being Michael Jordan's son had finally broken him. They were right, but not in the way they thought. Marcus was back home in Highland Park now, living with his mother. Michael had insisted Marcus get help for his anxiety and pill problem. They found a doctor named Dr. Patricia Morrison, who specialized in anxiety disorders. Addiction often starts as self-medication. Dr. Morrison had explained to Michael and Marcus, your son was trying to treat his anxiety the only way he knew how. Michael listened carefully, but Marcus could see the guilt in his father's eyes. The great Michael Jordan blamed himself for his son's problems. Marcus woke up each morning, feeling lost. For 12 years, basketball had been his life. Even though he hated it, it gave him structure, something to do. A reason to get up. Now what? You need to find a job, Juanita told him one morning at breakfast. Sitting around the house all day isn't healthy. Doing what, Mom? The only thing I know is basketball, and I can't do that anymore. You'll figure it out, baby. Give yourself time. But Marcus didn't feel like he had time. He was 20 years old, with no real skills, and no college degree. Plus, everywhere he went, people recognized him as the kid who quit basketball. One afternoon, Marcus was walking through downtown Highland Park when he saw a small art gallery called Canvas Dreams. Through the window, he could see paintings and sculptures. People were inside, looking at the artwork and talking quietly. Marcus had always loved art, but he had hidden that passion for so long he almost forgot about it. He walked inside. The gallery was peaceful and quiet. Soft music played in the background. The walls were covered with beautiful paintings of landscapes and people and abstract designs. "Can I help you?" asked a woman with gray hair and kind eyes. "I'm just looking," Marcus said. "Take your time. Art should be experienced slowly." Marcus walked around the gallery for an hour. For the first time in weeks, he felt calm. No anxiety, no pressure, just beauty and creativity. The woman with gray hair was named Elena Rodriguez. She owned the gallery and had been an artist for 30 years. "You seem to really appreciate art," Elena said as Marcus was leaving. "I used to paint when I was younger," Marcus said. "But I haven't in a long time. It's never too late to start again. We have art classes here on Tuesday nights if you're interested." Marcus thought about it for a moment. "Maybe. Can I think about it?" "Of course. Art will wait for you." That night, Marcus told his mother about the gallery. "That sounds wonderful," Juanita said. "You always loved drawing when you were little." "Dad didn't think it was important. Your father was focused on basketball." "But that doesn't mean art isn't valuable." Marcus decided to try Elena's art class. The next Tuesday night, he walked into Canvas Dreams carrying a small bag with some supplies. There were 8 other people in the class. None of them knew who Marcus was. To them, he was just another person who wanted to learn how to paint. "Tonight, we're going to paint our emotions," Elena said. "Choose colors that represent how you feel inside." Marcus picked up a brush and started painting. Dark blues and grays swirled across the canvas. Then some bright yellow in the corner, like sunshine breaking through storm clouds. "That's very powerful," Elena said, looking at his painting. "You have real talent." For the first time in months, Marcus felt proud of something he had created. He kept going to art classes every week. Slowly, he started to feel better. The anxiety was still there, but Dr. Morrison was helping him learn healthy ways to deal with it. "Anxiety is like a fire alarm in your brain," Dr. Morrison explained. "It's trying to protect you from danger, but sometimes it goes off when there's no real danger. So how do I turn it off? You learn new ways to respond to it. Breathing exercises, meditation, physical exercise, art therapy." Art therapy. Marcus liked the sound of that. After 2 months of art classes, Elena offered Marcus a part-time job at the gallery. "I need someone to help with customer service and basic gallery maintenance," she said. "You understand art, and you're good with people." Marcus was surprised. "You really think I'm good with people? You're gentle and thoughtful. Those are good qualities for working in an art gallery." Marcus took the job. It didn't pay much, but it gave him purpose. He helped customers understand the artwork. He learned about different painting techniques. He even started creating his own pieces. One painting he made was called "Living in the Shadow." It showed a small figure standing under a giant basketball that blocked out the sun. Elena hung it in the gallery, and several people asked about buying it. "You should consider selling your work," Elena suggested. "People would want to buy my paintings?" Art speaks to people in different ways. Your paintings show real emotion. That's valuable. Meanwhile, Marcus's relationship with his father was slowly healing. Michael visited Highland Park every few weeks. They would talk for hours about things they had never discussed before. "I'm sorry I put so much pressure on you," Michael said during one visit. "I thought I was helping you become strong." "You were trying to be a good dad," Marcus replied. "You didn't know about my anxiety. But I should have known. I should have seen that you were struggling." "Dad, you're not a mind reader." I got really good at hiding how I felt. These conversations were painful but necessary. Both Marcus and Michael were learning to be honest with each other for the first time. Dr. Morrison also met with Michael alone sometimes. She helped him understand anxiety and addiction. Marcus's anxiety probably started as a normal childhood fear, she explained. But when he couldn't talk about it, it grew bigger. Then he found pills that seemed to help, so he kept using them. "How do I help him now?" Michael asked. "Love him for who he is. not who you want him to be. Support his interests, even if they're not basketball. Michael was trying to do that. When Marcus showed him paintings from the gallery, Michael asked questions and listened carefully. "This one is really good," Michael said, looking at a landscape Marcus had painted. "You've got real skill." It meant a lot to Marcus to hear his father say that. In July, Marcus met someone who would change his life even more. Her name was Sarah Chen, and she worked as a social worker in downtown Chicago. Sarah came to the gallery one Saturday afternoon. She was looking for artwork to decorate her office. Marcus helped her choose 3 small paintings. "I work with teenagers who have anxiety and depression," Sarah explained. "I think art in my office might help them feel more comfortable." "That's a really good idea," Marcus said. "Art helped me when I was going through a hard time." They talked for an hour about art and mental health. Sarah was smart and kind. She had never heard of Marcus Jordan, which was refreshing. "Would you like to get coffee sometime?" Sarah asked as she was leaving. Marcus felt nervous but excited. "I'd like that." They started dating slowly. Sarah didn't care about basketball or fame. She cared about helping people and making the world better. "What's your story?" she asked during their 3rd date. Marcus told her everything. About the anxiety, about the pills, about quitting basketball. He expected her to be shocked or disappointed. Instead, Sarah smiled. "Thank you for being honest with me." That took courage. "You're not freaked out. I work with people who struggle with mental health every day." "You're not broken, Marcus. You're human." For the first time in his life, Marcus felt completely accepted for who he was. As fall arrived, Marcus was working full-time at the gallery and taking art classes at a community college. He was also seeing Dr. Morrison twice a week and taking medication for his anxiety, real medication, prescribed by a doctor. The pills Dr. Morrison prescribed were different from the ones Marcus had stolen. They didn't make him feel foggy or strange. They just helped quiet the anxiety enough for him to function normally. "Recovery is a process," Dr. Morrison told him. "You're doing great work." Marcus was also starting to think about his future. Maybe he could become an art teacher, or open his own gallery someday, or use art to help other people with mental health problems. One evening, Marcus was working late at the gallery when his father called. "How are you doing, son?" "I'm good, Dad. Really good." "I'm proud of you," Michael said. "I know this year has been hard, but you're building something meaningful." "Thanks, Dad. That means a lot." "I love you, Marcus. Not because of basketball, just because you're my son." Marcus smiled. "I love you too, Dad." After hanging up, Marcus looked around the gallery. 6 months ago, he had been falling apart on a basketball court. Now he was surrounded by beauty and creativity. He still had anxiety sometimes. He still went to therapy. He still took medication. But for the first time in his life, Marcus felt like he was becoming the person he was meant to be. Not Michael Jordan's son who played basketball. Just Marcus. An artist, a helper, a young man finding his own way in the world. And that felt like enough. Orlando, Florida, July. 27-year-old Marcus Jordan stood in front of a small storefront in Disney Springs. The empty space would soon become Trophy Room, his dream sneaker boutique. 6 years had passed since he quit basketball. 6 years of therapy, art, and learning who he really was. Now he was ready for something new. "This is perfect," said Sarah Chen, squeezing Marcus's hand. They had been together for 4 years now, and she supported all his dreams. "You really think so?" Marcus asked. "It's a big risk. The best things in life usually are." Marcus smiled. Sarah always knew what to say to calm his nerves. The idea for Trophy Room had been growing in Marcus's mind for 2 years. He wanted to create a store that honored basketball history without forcing him to play the game. A place where he could share his father's legacy while building his own identity. "I want to do this right," Marcus had told Michael when he first pitched the idea. "Not just trade on the Jordan name, but create something meaningful." Michael was supportive but cautious. "Business is different from basketball, son. But if this is what you want, I'll help however I can." That conversation happened at Michael's house in Jupiter, Florida. They were sitting by the pool, talking like friends instead of father and son carrying years of pain. "I've been thinking about what you said," Michael continued. "About wanting to honor basketball history. That's something I can get behind. I want each shoe to tell a story, Marcus explained. Not just sell products, but educate people about the moments that made basketball special. Michael nodded. That's smart. People connect with stories. Over the next year, Marcus worked with his father to plan Trophy Room. They would sell exclusive Air Jordan leases and rare vintage sneakers. Each shoe would come with information about the game or moment it represented. Marcus also took business classes at Valencia College in Orlando. He studied marketing, accounting, and retail management. For the first time since elementary school, Marcus was excited about learning. I never thought I'd see you this passionate about anything, Juanita told him during one of their weekly phone calls. It feels different from basketball, Marcus said. With basketball, I was trying to be someone else. With this, I'm being myself. The store opened in December 2016. Marcus was nervous all morning, but it was a different kind of nervous. Excited nervous instead of panic nervous. The first customer was a teenager named Kevin Martinez from Miami. He had driven 3 hours to Orlando just to visit Trophy Room. I can't believe this place is real, Kevin said, looking around at the displays. These are some of the rarest Jordans ever made. Marcus smiled. Each pair has a story. See this Air Jordan 11? My dad wore these during the 1996 playoffs. Kevin's eyes got wide.
Really? Can you tell me about that game?
Marcus spent 20 minutes telling Kevin about the basketball history behind different shoes. The teenager left with one pair of sneakers and a head full of basketball knowledge. That felt good, Marcus told Sarah that night. I was sharing basketball history without having to play basketball. You found a way to honor your father's legacy and your own interests, Sarah said. That's beautiful. Trophy Room became successful faster than Marcus expected. Sneaker collectors from around the world traveled to Orlando to visit the store. Basketball fans came to see the rare shoes and hear the stories behind them. But the best part for Marcus was the relationships he built with customers. Many of them were young people who reminded him of himself. Kids who loved basketball, but felt pressure to be perfect. One customer was a 16-year-old named Tyler Washington from Jacksonville. Tyler came to the store with his father and seemed very nervous. My son plays basketball, Tyler's father explained to Marcus. He's good, but he gets anxious during games. I thought meeting you might help. Marcus talked with Tyler privately while his father looked at shoes. I heard you used to play basketball, Tyler said quietly. Why did you stop? Marcus thought carefully about his answer. He had learned to be honest about his past without sharing every detail. I realized basketball wasn't making me happy, Marcus said. It was causing me stress and anxiety. So I found something else I was passionate about. But don't you regret not playing professionally? Sometimes I wonder what might have happened. But I'm happy with the life I built instead. And there's no shame in choosing a different path. Tyler nodded. My parents want me to get a basketball scholarship, but sometimes I can't breathe during games. Have you talked to anyone about that, like a counselor or a therapist? My dad thinks therapy is for weak people. Marcus felt his heart break a little. This kid was going through exactly what he had experienced. Tyler, can I tell you something? Getting help for anxiety takes courage, not weakness. I see a therapist, and it changed my life. They talked for another 30 minutes. Before Tyler left, Marcus gave him his personal phone number. If you ever need someone to talk to about basketball pressure, call me. I understand what you're going through. Over the next 2 years, Trophy Room became one of the most famous sneaker stores in the world. Marcus appeared on ESPN and other sports shows, but always as a businessman, not as a failed basketball player. Marcus Jordan has found his calling. One reporter said, he's created something unique in the sneaker world. The success felt good, but Marcus was most proud of the young people he helped. Kids like Tyler, who called him sometimes when the pressure got too much. Marcus also started dating Sarah more seriously. In 2018, he asked her to marry him during a quiet dinner at their favorite restaurant in Orlando. I love you for exactly who you are, Sarah said when she said yes. Not because of your father or your business, just because you're you. Their engagement made the news, but Marcus and Sarah kept their relationship private. They didn't need the world's approval to be happy. Meanwhile, Marcus's relationship with his father continued to grow stronger. Michael visited Trophy Room regularly and was amazed by what his son had built. I'm proud of you, Michael told Marcus during one visit. You took a difficult situation and turned it into something positive. I learned from watching you, Marcus replied. You never gave up, even when things were hard. But you did something I never could. You admitted when something wasn't working and changed direction. That takes real strength. These conversations meant everything to Marcus. For years, he had thought his father only valued basketball success. Now he understood that Michael valued courage and honesty even more. Marcus also started speaking at schools and youth centers about mental health and finding your own path. He never shared all the details of his pill addiction, but he talked openly about anxiety and the pressure of living up to family expectations. Your parents love you no matter what, he would tell groups of teenagers. But sometimes they need help understanding what you're going through. Don't be afraid to ask for that help. One student at a Miami high school asked, "Do you ever regret not playing professional basketball?" Marcus thought about the question seriously before answering. I regret the years I spent lying and hiding from my family. But I don't regret finding my own path. Success isn't just about sports or money. It's about being true to yourself and helping other people. By 2019, Marcus felt more confident and secure than ever before. Trophy Room was thriving. His relationship with Sarah was strong. His mental health was stable with the help of Dr. Morrison and proper medication. Most importantly, his relationship with his father had healed completely. They talked regularly and genuinely enjoyed each other's company. One evening, Marcus was closing Trophy Room when his phone rang. It was Michael. Hey, Dad. What's up? Just wanted to call and tell you I love you, son. I was thinking about how far we've both come. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. I'm sorry it took me so long to understand what you needed from me. Dad, we both did the best we could. What matters is where we are now. You're right, and where we are now is pretty good. Marcus agreed. After years of struggling with anxiety, addiction, and living up to impossible expectations, he had finally found peace. He had a successful business that honored basketball without requiring him to play. He had a loving relationship with someone who accepted him completely. He had a healed relationship with his father, built on honesty and mutual respect. And he was helping young people avoid the mistakes he had made. It wasn't the life anyone had expected for Michael Jordan's son, but it was the right life for Marcus Jordan. And that was more than enough. It was everything. ESPN Studios, Chicago, March 5th. Marcus Jordan sat across from Rachel Martinez again, but this time everything was different. The lights felt brighter. The studio felt smaller. The weight of 29 years of secrets was about to be lifted forever. We're back, Rachel said to the camera. I'm here with Marcus Jordan, and we've just heard something incredible. Marcus, you were 8 years old when this started. Can you take us back to that moment? Marcus took a deep breath. His hands weren't shaking anymore. After years of therapy and growth, he was finally ready to tell the complete truth. It was 1995, Marcus began. My dad had just come back to the Bulls. I was in second grade at Highland Park Elementary. Everyone expected me to be just like him. Rachel nodded. That must have been overwhelming for a child. It was. But the scary part wasn't the attention. It was the basketball itself. Every time I had to play, I felt sick. My heart would race. My hands would shake. I couldn't breathe normally. Marcus paused, remembering those early days of fear. I didn't know what panic attacks were. I just knew that basketball made me feel terrible. But I couldn't tell my parents. How do you tell Michael Jordan that his son is afraid of basketball? So what did you do? I hid it. I made excuses. I lied about being sick. I did everything I could to avoid playing basketball with my dad. Marcus could see Rachel leaning forward. She understood this was something special. But that wasn't sustainable, Rachel said. No, it wasn't. When I was 11, I went to basketball camp at Lake Forest Academy. The pressure was intense. All these kids and parents expecting me to be amazing. Marcus's voice got quieter. This was the hardest part to tell. I had my worst panic attack ever during a scrimmage. I couldn't handle it anymore. That's when I made the worst decision of my life. What did you do? I went home and stole pills from my mother's medicine cabinet. Xanax. Anxiety medication. I took one before the next practice. And for the first time in years, I could play basketball without feeling terrified. The studio was completely silent. Even the camera crew had stopped moving. I was 11 years old, taking prescription drugs that weren't mine. just so I could spend time with my father without having a panic attack. Rachel's eyes were wide. How long did this go on? 9 years, Marcus said. From age 11 to 20. I became an expert at stealing pills. From my mom, from my dad, from friends' houses. Anytime I found anxiety medication, I would take. Did anyone ever notice? My mom noticed I seemed different sometimes. Coaches noticed I was inconsistent. But no one ever suspected drug use. Who would think Michael Jordan's son was stealing anxiety medication? Marcus felt tears coming, but he kept talking. The worst part was the lying. Every day I lied to my parents about how I felt. Every basketball practice was an act. Every good game was because of stolen pills, not natural talent. How did it affect your performance? It made me unpredictable. Sometimes I took the right amount and played well. Sometimes I took too much and felt foggy. Sometimes I couldn't get any pills and fell apart completely. Marcus thought about all those years of living a double life. In high school, I collapsed during a game against New Trier. 2,000 people saw it happen. Everyone thought it was pressure, but really I had taken too many pills and my body couldn't handle it. What about college? College was when everything started falling apart. I was away from home, so stealing pills became harder. I tried to get prescriptions from campus doctors, but they wouldn't give them to me. Marcus remembered those desperate days at UCF. I started taking whatever I could find. Sleep aids, pain medication, anything that might help with anxiety. It was dangerous and stupid, but I was desperate. And that led to what happened in Memphis. Memphis was the end. I had no pills left. No way to cope. The anxiety was overwhelming, and I collapsed on national television in front of my father. Marcus wiped his eyes. The hardest part was coming. After the hospital, I finally told my dad everything. About the anxiety, about the pills, about the 9 years of lying. It was the most difficult conversation of my life. How did he react? He cried. My father, who I had never seen show weakness, broke down completely. He blamed himself for creating an environment where I felt like I couldn't be honest. Rachel was crying now too. What happened next? I quit basketball. Just walked away from UCF in the middle of my senior season. The media called me a quitter, but really I was finally being honest about who I was. Marcus smiled through his tears. The next few years were hard but healing. I got proper therapy with Dr. Patricia Morrison. I learned healthy ways to deal with anxiety. I discovered art and found peace in creativity. And that led to Trophy Room? Eventually, yes. I wanted to honor basketball without having to play it. Trophy Room lets me share the history and stories I love without the performance pressure that destroyed me. Marcus looked directly into the camera. I want kids watching this to know that it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to struggle with anxiety, but it's not okay to steal medication or lie to your parents for years. What would you tell your 8-year-old self? Marcus thought carefully about this question. I would tell him to be brave enough to tell the truth, that his parents love him no matter what, that being scared doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. And what would you tell other kids who might be struggling with similar pressure? Talk to your parents. Get professional help. Don't try to solve mental health problems with stolen medication. There are safe, healthy ways to deal with anxiety. Marcus paused, then continued. And remember that your parents' dreams for you might not be your dreams for yourself. That's okay. You can honor your family while still being true to who you are. Rachel wiped her eyes. Marcus, why are you sharing this now? After all these years of keeping it secret? Because I'm tired of living a lie. Because there might be kids out there right now doing what I did. And because my father and I have finally healed our relationship. I'm not afraid of disappointing him anymore. What do you hope people take away from your story? That mental health matters. That honesty is more important than perfection. That you can overcome your worst mistakes if you're willing to do the work. Marcus looked at the camera one more time. Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry it took me 14 years to tell the world what I told you in that hospital room. But I'm not sorry for who I became because of this journey. Rachel was struggling to maintain her composure. Marcus Jordan, everyone, thank you for sharing your truth with us. Thank you for listening, Rachel. And thank you for making space for this story. As they went to commercial, Rachel reached over and squeezed Marcus's hand. That was the most powerful interview I've ever done, she said. Marcus nodded. It felt good to finally tell the whole truth. In the green room, Marcus checked his phone. Hundreds of text messages and missed calls. The interview was already going viral on social media. One text stood out. It was from Tyler Washington, the teenager he had mentored years ago. Just watched your interview. Thank you for being brave enough to tell your story. You probably saved lives tonight. Marcus smiled. That message made everything worth it. Another text was from Sarah. I'm so proud of you. Come home when you're ready. I'll be waiting. And then the call he was most nervous about. His phone showed Dad on the screen. Marcus answered. Son. Michael's voice was thick with emotion. I just watched the interview. Dad.
No, let me talk first. I am so proud of you for telling that story. So proud of the man you've become.
So proud that you found the courage I never had to be completely honest about your struggles. Marcus felt relief wash over him. You're not disappointed? Disappointed? Marcus, you just showed the world what real courage looks like. You turned your pain into purpose. You're helping people I could never reach. Michael paused. I'm honored to be your father. Not because of what you accomplished in basketball, but because of who you are as a human being. Marcus was crying again, but these were tears of joy. I love you, Dad. I love you too, son. More than you'll ever know. As Marcus hung up the phone, he felt something he had never experienced before. Complete freedom. The secret that had controlled his life for 29 years was finally out. The truth that had nearly destroyed him had actually set him free. And somewhere in America, a young athlete struggling with pressure and anxiety was watching the interview and realizing they weren't alone. That they didn't have to steal pills to cope. That they could tell their parents the truth. That they could be brave, like Marcus Jordan. Not the basketball player everyone expected him to be, but the human being he chose to become. Jupiter, Florida. March. Michael Jordan sat in his home theater staring at the black TV screen. The ESPN interview had ended 10 minutes ago, but he couldn't move. His wife Yvette sat beside him, holding his hand. His friend Ahmad Rashad was there too, both men shocked into silence. For 29 years, Michael had thought he knew his son. Now he realized he had never known Forcus at all. MJ, Ahmad said quietly. You okay? Michael shook his head. No, I'm not okay. Yvette squeezed his hand tighter. Honey, you couldn't have known. Marcus hid this from everyone. But I should have seen it, Michael said, his voice breaking. I'm his father. How did I miss 9 years of drug addiction? How did I miss that my son was suffering every day? Michael stood up and walked to the window. Outside, his swimming pool sparkled in the Florida sunshine. Everything looked normal, but nothing felt normal anymore. He was 8 years old when it started, Michael said to himself. 8 years old and scared of the thing I loved most. The phone had been ringing constantly since the interview ended. ESPN wanted a statement. Sports reporters wanted reactions. Business partners wanted to know if this would affect his brands. Michael didn't care about any of that. All he could think about was his little boy. Stealing pills just to spend time with his father. I need to call him, Michael said. You already called him, Yvette reminded him gently. Right after the interview. I need to see him. I need to go to Orlando. Ahmad stood up. MJ, maybe you should take some time to process this first. Process what? That I failed my son for 20 years? That he was drowning and I never threw him a life preserver? Michael's voice was getting louder. He was angry, but not at Marcus. He was angry at himself. I taught him that winning was everything. Michael continued. I taught him that weakness was unacceptable. I taught him that Jordan men don't quit and don't show fear. Michael sat down heavily in his chair. And what did he learn? He learned that he couldn't tell me the truth. He learned that he had to drug himself just to make me proud. Yvette moved to sit on the arm of Michael's chair. Seth, you were trying to be a good father. You were teaching him the values that made you successful. But those values almost killed him. Yvette, do you understand that? My son could have died from taking those pills. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Ahmad spoke. MJ, I've known you for 30 years. You're beating yourself up worse than any critic ever could. But Marcus doesn't blame you. Did you hear what he said in that interview? Michael looked up. What do you mean? He said you were the best dad you knew how to be. He said he understood you were trying to help him be strong. That kid doesn't hate you, man. He loves you. Michael thought about the phone call after the interview. Marcus had sounded nervous but happy. Relieved. Free. He sounded different, Michael said. Lighter somehow. Because he finally told the truth, Yvette said. After carrying that secret for so long, he's finally free. Michael nodded. But now I have to live with knowing what he went through. Knowing that I caused it. You didn't cause his anxiety, Ahmad said. That's a medical condition. What you did was create an environment where he felt like he couldn't ask for help. That's exactly what I'm saying. I failed him. Michael's phone buzzed with another text message. He looked at it and his face softened. It's from Marcus, he said. He says, Dad, I love you. None of this changes that. I'm driving up to see you tomorrow if that's okay. Michael typed back quickly, please, come. I need to see you. Within seconds, Marcus replied, on my way. The next morning, Michael paced around his house waiting for Marcus to arrive. He had barely slept the night before. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw his 8-year-old son stealing pills from medicine cabinets. When Marcus's car pulled into the driveway, Michael watched from the window. His son looked calm and confident as he walked to the front door. This was different from the scared, anxious young man who used to visit. Michael opened the door before Marcus could knock. Dad, Marcus said with a smile. Son. Michael pulled Marcus into a long hug. Both men were crying before they said another word. They sat in Michael's living room, the same room where they had watched countless basketball games together. But today felt different. Today they were going to have the most honest conversation of their lives. I watched the interview 3 times, Michael said. Each time I understood something new about how badly I messed up. Dad, you didn't mess up. You did what you thought was best. Marcus, you were taking drugs. At 11 years old, because of pressure I put on you. How is that not messing up? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Can I tell you something I didn't say in the interview? Of course. Taking those pills wasn't just about basketball pressure, it was about love. Michael looked confused. What do you mean? I saw how happy you were when I played well. I saw how proud you got when people said I was talented. I wanted to make you feel that way all the time. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. The pills weren't just helping me cope with anxiety. They were helping me be the son I thought you wanted. Even if it was fake. Michael felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. Oh, Marcus. I wanted you to be yourself. I just didn't know how to show you that. I know that now. But when I was 8, all I knew was that basketball made you happy. So I did whatever it took to play basketball. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Michael asked the question that had been bothering him most. When did you know you had to tell the truth? In the hospital in Memphis. When I saw how scared you were, I realized that hiding from you was hurting you too. But you've known the truth for 14 years. Why tell the world now? Marcus smiled. Because I'm not afraid anymore, Dad. I'm not afraid of disappointing you. I'm not afraid of people judging me. And I'm definitely not afraid of being honest about mental health. Michael nodded. I'm proud of you for that. There's something else, Marcus said. Since the interview aired yesterday, I've gotten over 1,000 messages from young athletes, kids who are struggling with anxiety and pressure, parents who didn't know their kids were suffering. Marcus pulled out his phone and showed Michael some of the messages. Thank you for saving my life, Marcus read. I was about to steal my mom's pills, but your story made me talk to her instead. Michael read another message. My son finally told me he has panic attacks during games. We're getting him help because of your courage. Do you see, Dad? This story isn't about my failure. It's about hope for other families. Michael felt tears coming again. You turned your pain into purpose. I learned that from you. You always said that champions find ways to help others win. Michael laughed through his tears. I never thought you were listening to my speeches. I was listening to everything. That's how I learned that real strength isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up and helping others do the same. They talked for 4 hours. About the past, about mistakes, about forgiveness. About how love sometimes gets expressed in the wrong ways. But it's still love. I need to make a public statement, Michael said eventually. People are going to want to hear from me. What are you going to say? Michael thought for a moment. That I'm proud of my son. that mental health is more important than athletic performance, that parents need to listen better to their children. That sounds perfect, Dad. That evening, Michael posted a statement on his social media accounts. It was longer than anything he had ever written publicly. Yesterday, my son Marcus showed more courage than I ever did on a basketball court. He told a story that was painful but necessary. A story about anxiety, addiction, and the pressure of living up to expectations. As his father, I take responsibility for creating an environment where Marcus felt he couldn't share his struggles with me. I thought I was teaching him to be strong, but I was actually teaching him to hide his pain. Marcus's story is a reminder that our children's mental health is more important than their athletic performance. That love means accepting our kids for who they are, not who we want them to be. I am incredibly proud of the man Marcus has become, not because of what he accomplished, but because of how he overcame his struggles and chose to help others. To any young athlete watching, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to choose a different path than the one others expect for you. Marcus Jordan is not just my son, he's my hero. The statement was shared millions of times within hours. Athletes, celebrities, and regular parents praised Michael for his honesty and vulnerability. But the response that mattered most came from Marcus. Thank you for understanding, Dad. I love you. 3 days later, Michael flew to Orlando to visit Trophy Room for the first time since the interview. The room was packed with customers, many of them young people who had come because of Marcus's story. Michael watched his son interact with customers. Marcus was patient and kind with everyone. He listened to their stories. He offered encouragement to kids who were struggling. Your son is special, one mother told Michael. He spent an hour talking to my daughter about anxiety and sports pressure. He might have saved her life. Michael nodded. He's been saving lives since he was brave enough to tell his truth. That night, Marcus and Michael had dinner at a quiet restaurant in Orlando. They talked about business, about Sarah, about the future. Normal father-son conversation. I have one more question, Michael said as they finished eating. What's that? Do you forgive me? For all those years of not understanding what you needed? Marcus smiled. Dad, there's nothing to forgive. We both did the best we could with what we knew at the time. But if you could go back and change anything, I wouldn't change anything, Marcus said firmly. Because all of that pain led me to where I am now. It led me to Sarah, to Trophy Room, to being able to help other kids. It led us to having this honest relationship. Marcus reached across the table and squeezed his father's hand. Besides, you taught me the most important lesson of all. What's that? That champions aren't defined by their perfect performances. They're defined by how they respond to their worst moments. Michael smiled through his tears. When did you get so wise? I learned from the greatest champion I know, my dad. As they left the restaurant, Michael realized something had changed forever. For 35 years, he had been Michael Jordan, the basketball legend, father of Marcus Jordan, the basketball disappointment. Now he was simply Michael Jordan, father of Marcus Jordan, the hero. And that felt like the greatest victory of his life. Dr. Patricia Morrison's office, Orlando, April. 1 month after the ESPN interview, Marcus Jordan sat in a therapy session with his father for the first time. Dr. Patricia Morrison had suggested family therapy to help them process everything that had happened. This is a big step, Dr. Morrison said, looking at both men. You've both been very brave to get to this point. Michael shifted in his chair. Even after 30 years of fame, sitting in a therapist's office felt strange to him. I've never done this before, Michael admitted. Talking about feelings isn't something I'm good at. That's okay, Dr. Morrison said kindly. We're here to learn new ways to communicate. Marcus reached over and squeezed his father's shoulder. Dad, you've already come so far. Just being here shows how much you care. Over the next hour, they talked about their childhoods, their fears, and their dreams for the future. Dr. Morrison helped them understand patterns that had been passed down through generations. Michael, tell me about your relationship with your father, Dr. Morrison asked. Michael was quiet for a moment. My dad was tough. James Jordan Sr. believed in discipline and hard work. He pushed me to be better every day. And how did that feel? Sometimes it felt like nothing I did was good enough. I always had to prove myself. Dr. Morrison nodded. And Marcus, how does that compare to your experience? It's exactly the same, Marcus said. I felt like I had to prove myself to Dad every day. But I was scared I never could. Michael looked shocked. Son, I never wanted you to feel that way. I know that now, Dad, but when you're 8 years old, and your father is the greatest basketball player ever, everything feels like a test. Dr. Morrison helped them understand how fear and pressure had been passed down from grandfather to father to son. This is called generational trauma, she explained. Patterns of behavior that get repeated without people realizing it. So I did to Marcus what my father did to me, Michael asked. In some ways, yes, but you also did many things differently. You were more present in Marcus's life than your father was in yours. Marcus nodded. Dad, you were at my games. You helped with homework. You cared about my life outside of basketball too, but I still made you feel like you had to be perfect. Michael said sadly. Parents aren't perfect, Dr. Morrison said. The goal isn't to never make mistakes. The goal is to recognize mistakes and work to fix them. They continued therapy sessions every 2 weeks. Slowly, both men learned new ways to talk to each other. Ways that were honest and supportive instead of demanding and fearful. Meanwhile, the world was responding to Marcus's story in amazing ways. The hashtag #GenMarcusJordanTruth became a movement for honest conversations about mental health in sports. Young athletes everywhere started talking to their parents about anxiety and pressure. Parents started listening to their children's struggles instead of just pushing them to succeed. Trophy Room became more than just a sneaker store. It became a place where young people could talk open about mental health. Marcus hired a counselor to work in the store part-time, offering support to customers who needed it. We're not just selling shoes, Marcus told a reporter from Sports Illustrated. We're creating a safe space for honest conversations about sports pressure. The Jordan Foundation, which Michael had started years earlier, also changed its focus. Instead of just funding basketball programs, they began supporting mental health resources for young athletes. My son taught me that winning isn't just about trophies, Michael said during a foundation event. It's about helping kids be healthy and happy. In May 2024, Marcus and Sarah announced their wedding date. They would be married in October, at a small ceremony in Orlando. The guest list was small, focused on family and close friends rather than celebrities and business partners. We want our wedding to represent who we really are, Sarah told People magazine. Not who the world expects us to be. Michael was chosen to be Marcus's best man. During the bachelor party, a quiet dinner at Marcus's favorite restaurant, Michael gave a speech that brought everyone to tears. For 20 years I thought my son was a disappointment, Michael said. I was wrong. He was never a disappointment. I just didn't understand what real strength looked like. Michael paused, looking at Marcus. My son taught me that courage isn't about never being afraid. It's about being afraid and telling the truth anyway. Marcus is the bravest person I know. The wedding in October was beautiful and simple. Marcus and Sarah exchanged vows they had written themselves. In his vows, Marcus said, Sarah, you loved me when I couldn't love myself. You saw who I really was when I was still pretending to be someone else. You taught me that I was enough, exactly as I am. Sarah's vows were equally moving. Marcus, your honesty gave me permission to be honest too. Your courage to be vulnerable made me brave. I love the man you are, not the man you thought you had to be. When the minister announced them as husband and wife, the small crowd cheered. Michael stood and clapped longer than anyone else. At the reception, Marcus and Michael danced together to My Way by Frank Sinatra. As they danced, they talked quietly. Are you happy, son? Michael asked. Happier than I ever thought possible, Marcus replied. Are you? I'm proud of you in ways I never knew were possible. Dad, can I tell you something? Anything. I'm glad everything happened the way it did. The anxiety, the pills, even the pain. Because it led me here. Michael smiled. To Sarah? To all of this. To honesty. To helping other kids. To having a real relationship with you. As the song ended, father and son hugged tightly. I love you, Marcus. I love you too, Dad. 6 months later, Marcus and Michael announced a new project together. They were starting a foundation called True Champions that would provide mental health resources specifically for young athletes and their families. We want to make sure no kid ever feels like they have to hide their struggles, Marcus explained during the announcement press conference. And no parent ever misses the signs that their child is suffering, Michael added. The foundation would provide free therapy, support groups, and educational programs in schools and sports clubs across the country. During the press conference, a reporter asked Michael how it felt to work with his son on something so different from basketball. "This is more important than any championship I ever won," Michael said, "because this is about saving lives." Another reporter asked Marcus if he ever regretted sharing his story so publicly. "Never," Marcus said firmly. "Every day I get messages from kids and parents who say our story helped them. That makes everything worth it." As 2024 ended, Marcus reflected on the incredible year it had been. The ESPN interview had changed everything. Not just for him and his father, but for thousands of families around the world. Trophy Room was more successful than ever, but more importantly, it was helping young people have honest conversations about mental health. His marriage to Sarah was strong and happy. They had started talking about having children someday. His relationship with his father was better than he had ever dreamed possible. They talked regularly, visited often, and worked together on meaningful projects. Most importantly, Marcus felt free. Free from secrets, free from shame, free from the pressure to be someone he wasn't. On New Year's Eve, Marcus stood on the balcony of his Orlando home with Sarah beside him. They were watching fireworks light up the sky over Disney World. "What are you thinking about?" Sarah asked. "How different my life is now compared to a year ago." "Good different or scary different?" Marcus smiled. "The best kind of different. Honest different." Sarah squeezed his hand. "I'm proud of you for telling your story. I'm proud of us for building this life together." As midnight approached, Marcus thought about all the young athletes who might be watching the fireworks too. Kids who were struggling with pressure and anxiety. Kids who felt like they couldn't tell their parents the truth. He hoped some of them had seen his ESPN interview. He hoped they understood that it was okay to be prayed, that it was okay to ask for help, that they didn't have to steal pills or hide their pain. Most of all, he hoped they understood that their parents loved them no matter what, even if it took time for everyone to figure out how to show that love in healthy ways. "What's your resolution for next year?" Sarah asked as the countdown to midnight began. Marcus thought for a moment. "To keep telling the truth, to keep helping kids, to keep being the person I really am instead of the person everyone expects me to be." "That's perfect," Sarah said. As the clock struck midnight and fireworks exploded overhead, Marcus Jordan felt something he had never experienced before in his life. Complete peace. The scared 8-year-old boy who used to steal pills to cope with basketball practice was gone forever. In his place was a confident, honest man who was using his pain to help others heal. It had taken 29 years. But Marcus Jordan had finally become exactly who he was meant to be. And that was the greatest victory of all. Marcus's bravery in sharing his truth reminds us that our greatest struggles can become our greatest strengths. His story shows that it's never too late for families to heal, for parents to listen, and for children to be honest about their pain. We'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop a comment below and tell us your city or country. If this story touched your heart or taught you something new, please give this video a like. Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful real-life stories that matter. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories about courage, family, and overcoming life's 6 challenges. Most importantly, please share this video with your friends and family. You never know who might need to hear Marcus's message about mental health, honesty, and the power of telling your truth. Together, we can spread kindness and awareness one story at a time. Remember, your story matters too. And sometimes sharing it can save a life. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next story.